Matthew John has written to us from Cochin, Kerala. He's holding about 100 shares of IndusInd Bank purchased at 1550. Kunal, should he continue holding on to IndusInd Bank or just sell out of this position?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to try and exit the position. Unless the news flow starts to improve for IndusInd Bank, it's very difficult to try and preempt that the stock would make any kind of a major turnaround. And there are far more better banks available which are at the cusp of a turnaround. So I would suggest an exit on the stock and then come back to the traditional large cap names. For example, I think Kotak Bank, Axis Bank, these are the two stocks which are emerging as fresh breakout candidates. And then from the slew of mid cap names, there are plethora of stocks. Whether it's DCB Bank, whether it's City Union Bank, etc., Federal Bank, these stocks are also looking fairly attractive. So pick and choose from that basket where there is a lack of negative news flow as well as more consistency in terms of price trends.
And because this stock has been in focus for the last several sessions on account of regulatory challenges, Shahina, what will your view be fundamentally on IndusInd Bank and several other private sector banks?
Well, I would say that they're better banks than IndusInd Bank that's going through a lot of issues. But RBI policy is quite supportive of interest rates coming down. So to that extent, and liquidity, main is the liquidity. There's going to be a lot of liquidity in the system. So I would say it is better to go in for the other banks. Like for example, Kunal also has mentioned DCB Bank. In the small bank, it's just a small cap bank. And in the larger banks, you have private sector banks like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank. So I would say there are a lot of banks that look more attractive than IndusInd Bank as of now.
All right, other banks that look attractive, more attractive than IndusInd Bank, and keeping up with the banking pack, this Anu, who's writing in from Gurgaon, she says she's a big fan of Kunal. Anu, who's writing in from Gurgaon, she says she's a big fan of Kunal and she wants his opinion on Canara Bank. She holds 1,500 shares at a buying price of 117 rupees. She wants your view for the medium term, Kunal.
Thank you so much. So I think on Canara Bank, I would believe that the stock is at a cusp of a very strong potential breakout on the upside. I think closer to 125 is a resistance for Canara Bank, but I believe that in this leg of price uptrend, the stock should be able to scale past about this resistance. I would suggest to hold on to the stock and the holdings which you have for the stock price with a potential breakout expected about the 125 mark. Above those levels, you can expect levels of even 130 to 135 for Canara Bank.
Okay, so that's the view on Canara Bank, and we have several queries that have come in on private and public sector banks in today's show. Kiran has written to us from Pune. He's holding some 1,000 shares of Jindal Saw. The stock, after it reported its capex plans, the stock in fact is up 8 to 9% in today's trading session.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.